Hey guys, this is 3.1 lesson 1 of 3 talking about probability and sample space. For your first slide, this is where you might have clicked on the link to watch this video, and you've also got a little positive vibes here where you can record 2 things that made you smile in the last 24 hours. You can share. I think I'll change this to have it be typed so you can share with the class. All right, slide 2, we're going to move through this recording a little bit quick. While we're going through the recording, please pause the video when you are working on something so you can try it on your own, right, and then resume to find the answer. So for our warm-up, describe the following event as unlikely, equally likely to happen, or not to happen, or likely. What do you think? Is it unlikely to happen, equally likely to happen, or not, like kind of 50-50, or it's likely to happen? And then explain your reasoning. So you'll want to use the text tool for this one. And the statement is the oldest child in a family is a girl. Is that unlikely to happen? About 50-50, it could happen or not happen, or it's likely to happen. And then explain your reasoning. And then in number 2, give an example of an event that is certain to occur. And you can type in that space. All right, so I'll encourage you to, again, pause the video here, try this on your own, and I'll go over the answer in just a moment. All right, so assuming that you have paused the video, you're checking your work. So if the oldest child is a girl, so the firstborn is a girl, right? We've got for girl 2 options, boy or girl at birth, boy or girl. So there's a 50% chance that when you're born, you are a boy, 50% chance that when you're born, you're a girl. So it seems like it would actually be equally likely or not. It's like going to be 50-50. It's not like super likely or it's not unlikely. It's just kind of like, I don't know, either one, because it's one or the other. Give an example of an event that is certain to occur. I'd say when the sun is out, I feel like it makes me feel warm, or when the sun rises in the morning. I know, something simple. Sun, or let's even simpler, sun rises in the east, right? Sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. That is an event that is certain to occur. The sun is not just going to one day rise from the west side. That would be, kind of strange, pretty strange. All right, next slide. We've got some fill-in notes here. Probability of an event. So the probability of an event is measured by the likelihood or chance, the chance that the event will occur. So when we're talking about the probability of something, of an event to happen, it's on a scale of 0 to 1, where 0 is it's impossible, it's never going to happen, right? Like the sun rising from the west. That is impossible, it's never going to happen, versus an event that's certain 100%, the sun is going to rise from the east. Yes, that is certain. Things could be kind of in between. It could be unlikely, the 25%, in between half and half, 50-50, equally likely or unlikely to happen, and then likely, so about 75%. So it's, again, this scale of 0 to 1. It can be expressed as a decimal, as a fraction, or as a percentage. Usually we like to do it as a percentage, but either one, they're all, you can see 1/4 is the same as 0.25, which is the same as 25%, right? With ratios, it's all saying the same thing. If we were in class, I would have you add this to your notes, but this is a recording, so I'm going to skip ahead. So we've got a little formula here on slide 4. The probability of an event to occur is the number of favorable outcomes divided by the total number of possible outcomes. So number of favorable outcomes is kind of like what we're looking for. If we're finding the probability that I'm going to order a water at a restaurant, the top numerator is me ordering water divided by the total number. If we're taking a sample of all the drinks I've ordered at a restaurant, probably going to be tea, maybe some lemonade, the soda in there, but mostly water, right? So that would be like our total sample space. For the probability of an event to occur, we write it as probability of, and then whatever it is. So for probability of event A to happen is P of A, probability of A. So that's your next fill in the blank, P of A. Again, Pause at any point if I'm going too fast. You're like, wait, I gotta write this down. Pause. This is a recording. Remember, you can pause at any time. All right. Next slide, we're on slide 5, sample space. The sample space of an experiment is the set of all possible outcomes. Set of all possible outcomes for that experiment. So a sample space is all the different options, kind of like, again, thinking of that total. What are all the different options that could happen in this experiment? So for example, if we had a dice and we're going to roll it, we're thinking, what are all the different outcomes that could happen if we rolled a dice? I don't know if you've played like board games with the dice. One of my favorites that we did, that my family played, is called Parcheesi. It's like a really weird name for a game. But you roll 2 dice and then you move your little character. And the characters are so cute. Anyways, check it out if you've never heard of it. Pretty fun family bonding moment. But for dice, if you've played a game with dice, you know that a dice has 6 sides, right? 6 is the maximum number you can roll on a dice. So how many outcomes are there? We're going to list this. We could roll a 1, you could roll a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. These are all the possible outcomes. I'm not going to roll the dice and get a 25 because that would be weird. How did that number get there? No, there's only 6 sides to the dice. 1 through 6, that's our only options for what our dice roll could be. All right. Again, if we were in class, I'd ask you guys how many sides are in dice, but there's a recording, so we're rolling with the punches. All right, I know a lot of notes. You're like, Mrs. A, when are we getting to the as a class? When are we going to apply this? I know. So finding the probability using the sample space, again, probability of our favorable outcomes divided by the total. We're identifying that event. I said earlier, like me picking a drink at a restaurant. Favorable outcomes, I want to see the probability of me ordering a glass of water. So water times I've ordered glasses of water divided by the total times I've ordered, how many drinks I've ordered that were water and not water. That's the total. All right, so let's get into this. As a class, in an experiment, we are on slide 7 now. In an experiment, a coin is flipped. List the possible outcomes in the sample space of the experiment. So again, if we're rolling a dice, there are 6 possible choices that we could get. We could roll numbers 1 through 6. If we're flipping a coin, how many options are there? There should only be 2 options, right? We're either going to get heads. Are you ready for this drawing of a head? Because I'm not. Wow. That looks like kind of a little bit like Squidward. The one where he keeps hitting his head and gets like all buff or something. I don't know if I'd say it was buff, but there's heads or tails, and I'm glad that I have the drawing of the little bird here. Actually, you know what? I'm not glad because this does not really look most great. Wow. 10 out of 10. Okay, I'm just gonna write heads or tails. There we go. I probably should have started with that. That would have been better. Heads or tails. I think from this lesson we're learning maybe we should not choose Mrs. A as a Pictionary partner. Heads or tails. That's the only 2 outcomes. That's it. We're not gonna flip our coin and it's going to show me a number 5 or something, right? There's only 2 outcomes. So the probability of flipping tails, that is one of the options, right? So that's tails divided by, that's our favored outcome. Let me write that out, rewrite that. So it's our favored outcome divided by the total outcomes. So the favored outcome, if it's tails, is 1. The total options is only 2. So there is a 50% chance that when you flip a coin, it's going to be tails. It's equally likely or unlikely to get tails. All right, again, pause the video if you need more time to update on your notes. Slide 8 is a brain break, so if you ignore the drawing competition, I'll get rid of that because that's old, but take a break if you need a rest. Slide 9, I'd like you to try this on your own. The probability of rolling an even number on a 6-sided dice what's the sample space, and what's that probability going to be. So again, pause the video, try this on your own. When you're ready to check your answer, go ahead and resume. All right, assuming you have paused the video, you're ready to check your work. Let's see. So rolling a 6-sided dice, that sample space we already talked about, there are 6 options. You could roll a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6, right? Only 6 options. The probability of rolling an even number. So there are 6 options, but not all of these numbers are even. So let's look at our sample space and pick out how many numbers are even. So 2 is even, 4 is even, and 6 is even. So there are 3 numbers that are even, divided by our total options is 6. And we can simplify this. This is the same as 1/2, right? For probability, 0.5, or we could say there is a 50% chance. Again, each of these 3 are saying the same thing. Our answer could be a fraction, decimal, or percentage, as long as if it's a decimal or fraction, right, it's between 0 and 1. It can't be an improper fraction. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. You have a 150% chance that this will happen. It's only between 0 and 1. 0% or 100% chance. All right, next slide is blank. So if you wanted to open your Khan Academy homework to begin practicing, you can. And then here on your exit ticket, go ahead and let me know how confident you're feeling with this new topic of sample space and probability. Again, sample space is those grand total options. And then finding that probability is that number, that ratio. We're going to primarily use it, write it as a decimal or percentage for our class. And then don't forget your Khan Academy homework, practicing a little bit every day. And because this is a recording, I'll go ahead and link your homework here too. All right, that's it. Have a great day. Any questions at all, please email me or text me. I'll put my contact information here as well on your exit ticket. All right, bye guys. Have a great day.